and Education Cabinet Secretary Ambassador Amina Mohammed has announced a 100% penalty waiver to past HELB beneficiaries who clear their loans in lump sum by end of June this year. The CS was speaking at a HELB stakeholder breakfast meeting here in Nairobi. HELB draws its funding from the government's checker as well as loan repayments from past beneficiary as a national revolving fund. Since 1974, the University Loan Scheme has supported over 645,000 Kenyans to pursue higher education at a total cost of 72 billion shillings. Since 1974, 396,000 loan accounts were worth 47.5 billion shillings have matured for repayment, while 264,000 loanees holding 24.5 billion shillings have not matured of the 680,000 loan accounts. A total of 175,003 loanees have completed the loan repayment valued at 16.7 billion shillings. In 2016-2017 financial year alone, the board recovered 4.1 billion shillings, which accounted for 40% of the HELB students' financing budget of 10.2 billion shillings for the year. Despite the tremendous efforts by HELB, out of the 396,000 loan accounts that have matured, 994,000 of these accounts worth 8.2 billion shillings are not repaying their loans. Amina called on past beneficiaries of the University Loan Scheme to help educate other young Kenyans by repaying the loans. This is the only way HELB can be able to fund more students. And now joining us by way of phone is Edwin Kegoli, who is a former student leader at Moi University. Edwin, good afternoon, and thank you very much for making time to join us here on KTN News Desk. So it was announced that 100% penalty waiver to past HELB beneficiaries who clear their loans in lump sum by end of June this year. What is your take on this as a student leader?
Well, while we appreciate the effort of the Higher Education Loans Board to recover the loans to facilitate other students who might be in need of the loans, we also think that in the current dispensation, the economy is really not working for everyone. And if you look at the students who've already graduated and their loans matured, many of them haven't even landed a job. Many of them even are struggling to make business startups that are not working. And here, while appreciating the effort and the grace period that has been forwarded by the Cabinet Secretary in charge of education,
yes,
we really hope that probably this time could have been extended for about 90 days for these students to reorganize themselves and have the loan paid. Because actually it is important for them to pay it because it is something that has benefited them. And while appreciating that fact, we plead with the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the Higher Education Loans Board to extend the period so that these graduated students can get more time to amass these loan that is supposed to be paid back, because the interest rates at the moment is just way too high, and probably they would need a bit of time to clear the loan. However, we also note that many of the students who've graduated are really going through economic hardships, and the strain is very evident. In fact, even in a next year, it makes even the Big Four agenda a little bit elusive on their part. And we would just like the government to intervene and make job opportunities available, make the business environment more friendly so that those with business ideas can implement and get money and pay taxes and repay these loans so that other students can benefit.
All right. As you mentioned, there is high cost of living. There's also the issue of unemployment, which is at a high rate. Is there any other way that they could have gone through this rather than setting the deadline?
Yeah, probably. Like what President Kenyatta promised in 2017 of guaranteeing graduates direct or automatic internship opportunities that would be remunerated, that would help these students repay these loans. And if that promise that His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta made can be implemented and the reality needs realized, then these students will have a good platform and foundational reason to repay these loans. Because the truth of the matter is that the economic times and circumstances that we are in as Kenyans are really difficult. And if the government can go out of his way and make public-private partnerships so that jobs can be created both in the public sector and the private sector, so that many young people are put to work so that they have a salary at the end of the month and they are able to repay their HELB loans, these would really be beneficial to these young people, because we believe this is a matter that is within the mandate and the capability of the government. And if the government can do this one thing for the young people, even if it makes the business environment more friendlier to these young people, so that the ideas they have in terms of business can get the light of the day, and elimination of cartels who, curtail the process of starting business by demanding bribes from these young people that discourages them eventually, we would really be appreciating that move.
All right, and of course they did mention the issue of students helping other students to pay their HELB loan. Can this be achieved?
Yes, sure, this can be achieved because students are united by a common factor of comradeship. And if one comrade is unable to pay their loans and the circumstances surrounding the default are so dire, one student can come and say, I'm hit with this difficult situation. How can you help us? We normally come together as students and help those who are unable to marshal loans so that they can pay. In fact, there is a case last week of a student who was unable to raise some money to settle bills, and we came together as students and contributed for the student. So we can also contribute as students. And if you look at the circumstances, well, students right now are out of campus. Many of them are devastated and frustrated because of the ongoing lecturer strike. We would also like the same effort that Ambassador Amina Mohammed is putting in place to ensure that the strike is resolved once and for all, because actually she's kept mum about the strike, and the students are honestly very frustrated. In fact, the privately sponsored students are asking, why are they going through this difficult moment? The government sponsored students are also asking, why should they take over like 6 to 7 years for a course that usually takes 4 years to graduate? This is very difficult, and this is very, very dire to students, because these are young people, and when they are left at the mercy of no one, it becomes difficult.
All right. Thank you, Edwin Kegoli, who is a former student leader of Moi University, for those insights. We now want to cross